Good evening. Hello, Andy. How are you doing? And we are back after the shenanigans of the last episode. And so, with nothing to play for, really, it's a time to see what the young kids can do. And we got to. I have got. Hi, Aaron. How are you doing? I have got a very tough fixture coming up here. Millwall, who are in the League One, I believe. Yeah, they're in League One. So we look at our proposed team for today. We're playing some young boys. Shazavari, Landerson, Carapito. Sion was going to get his chance up front. He's actually a very good player, Sion. And deserves more game time. He could improve a lot. He's 20 years old. And so is part of my plans for the future. So he's going to get a chance. I wanted to play that young left back that we have been trying out, but unfortunately he's playing for the reserves today, so we can't put him in. But Moreno will play as well. Jesus Aber at the back. We're going to rest the other two. And we're going to give some boys a chance here. Wirtz will lead the lineup there. And I'm good, Aaron. I'm good. I've recovered from what happened last time. Guys, if there is anyone in the chat apart from Andy and Aaron, can you drop us a like? Because likes do help the channel. It's a very, very important part of YouTube. So I'm not going gung-ho against Millwall. We are just lining up in a fairly standard way, and hopefully it's good enough, this team, to see us over the line against what should be a very easy opponent. But FM doesn't play the game that way. We shall see what happens. And I'm taking a risk by playing all these young players, but they've got to be given a chance now. And we will look at what my first team vision is for next season after we've played this game, and the targets that I'm looking at. Hi Kate, how are you doing? The targets that I'm looking at in terms of who might be coming into the club. And he obviously wants to play a full strength team. I don't want to go attacking. I've got caught with that before. We really don't want to lose this game. We really, really do not want to lose this game. The board were not very happy that we got knocked out by Liverpool. But they did say in their message that they did understand, as it was a tough draw, but they were bitterly disappointed, apparently, about our performance in the Champions League. It was not a good performance in the second leg, a brilliant performance in the first leg, but I don't know what happened in the second leg, or indeed in the game against Leicester before it. I'm going to go with this team. I've got some experience on the bench. And Kamalo is also on the bench. He and Patterson are struggling for fitness since their injuries. But we're going to go with this team. And hopefully it's a good enough team to see us through this game. And let me just check my preferences here. We are as we left it for a change. So let's go and play this game. We have nothing to play for now. I can't see us winning the cup. We're not good enough, simple as that. But to get to the semi-final will make the board happy. They'll forget the... it's time to put an end. And because they're young, I'm going to tell them, I trust you to make the difference. And let's go and see what Millwall have got to offer. And here we go. And I've kept the line at higher because I'm aware that Millwall will play direct counter-attack. So I'm wary about balls over the top, and I've got pacey defenders there. So I could push the line up much higher because they are pacey. What happened there? We're in comprehensive highlights, yet we didn't see the free kick, which is interesting. Must have been a very poor free kick from Wirtz. and that's not a good sign. Shazavari gets another chance after his dismal showing. He is a good young player and will become a good player. But he's just not right at the moment. He went through a very, very good phase in the season where he was playing extremely well. He was almost edging ahead of Florian Wirtz. But he's just gone off the boil, and that's probably his age. He's still young. But we need to win this game, and we need to win it handsomely to restore a little bit of faith in ourselves, a little bit of belief in ourselves. Winning 1-0 against a League One team will not be really good enough. 7-0 will be fine. And let's hope that we have picked a team that really want to demonstrate that they want to break through into this first team. Landerson and Karapati, they are big parts of the future, and so they're getting their chance. Moreno as well, who I brought in the January window. He's a very, very good player, and for a young boy, his attributes are extremely good, and so hopefully these boys will come to the fore and show the manager we want to be part of this team. Tame the Lions. It's a case of, can we score, Andy? It's not really about anything else other than can we score. And having dropped pretty much my entire front line because I have no confidence in any of them at the moment. Kamalo will have to play. He'll come on in the second half. Got to get him back to fitness. He's not having the opportunity to show what he can do. He's been out injured for pretty much the entire time I've been here. He played a couple of games, but that was it. And then he got injured and didn't really feature since. So we got to get him back to fitness, get him playing some games. He is, of course, a big part of my squad for next season, as well as Jesus Abba, who's already, we brought him in for, I think, 18 mil. He's already valued at 132 mil. He is going to be an exceptional Premier League player. Still young, at 19 years old. That is not what I'm expecting from Carapito. I need a little bit more creativity than just trying for a worldie from 35 yards. But I sense there's a goal coming. We can who is that? That was Florian Wirtz. What is his first touch? It might be just interesting to have a look at his first touch. His first touch, 16. Okay, we'll say that was one of his rare 4 out of 20s. Because that was a dreadful first touch. He's not been performing very well, Florian Wirtz. He's had a very, very poor introduction to Newcastle. I suspected it might happen. Generally does, but hopefully he'll have a better second season. And if we're not going to be in Europe, then we're not going to be playing many games as well. And that will have some sort of bearing on the transfer window, because we don't need a squad that's too deep. And we'll have a look at what I would plan for the transfer window, because I was having a think about it. And I do have a definite plan, which is interesting for me because that doesn't happen often in terms of transfer windows. And we're absolutely blitzing Millwall here. Like I said, though, Andy, it's whether we can score is the thing. At the moment, we are just not functioning in terms of getting that goal. I think if the goal comes, then hopefully it will open the floodgates. But at the moment, as I suspected, scoring is the issue. One of these days, the game is just going to, when we play games like this, it's just going to start and we'll score a hatful, rather like we did against Lazio Lazio 9-0 came. I don't know where that came from. And Lazio are a decent team. They beat us in the first leg. I don't know where that 9-0 came from. And it's kind of, it's a bit dull at the moment, this game. Nothing really much happening. Could be that because I've picked a team that has lots of youngsters that we're not going to win it 7 or 9-0. But there are a number of youngsters in the team. Probably not going to be first team players next season, but definitely valuable members of the squad. Most of these boys. Even this boy on the ball at the moment. He has a future. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, he's been one of my better performers. Hey, Stephen. Yes, he's a very good player. And hopefully he'll bring a little bit of calmness to the defence. He's a very, very good player. I totally agree with you. And I hope he will bed in quickly, because otherwise we are really struggling in defence again. Here's the goal, is it? Here's the exit from the FA Cup. Oh, FM, I do love you. It's just unbelievable. With the pace that we have at the back, that's just unbelievable. And I think we probably need to berate them. Absolutely shocking. It's just like, oh, God. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. And yeah, we don't need to see it again. Thank you very much. You're just having a laugh now, aren't you? So we are a goal behind against a League One team, which was, of course, on the cards. One of these days, though, it's just going to open up and the game will start and we will actually be the better team and score lots of goals. But I don't know what I do wrong against these teams. Maybe I should be playing defensive against them. Maybe that's the key. I did try that a while back. I think it was with Bournemouth. Decided to go very defensive. And we did quite well against the smaller teams for a while. So maybe that's the key. Just defend and don't let them score. But at the moment, we don't look very good. I'm trying to figure out where they're getting all this space from. Do I drop the line or push it higher up? That's the question. I'm going to push the line higher up. Try and compress the space a little bit. But what a shocking shambles. One shot, one goal. It's so FM. And please don't do this. Just get me out of the cup against Millwall. Just because you want me to be on a bad run. Oh boy. Maybe the assistant was right. Maybe I have underestimated Millwall, and by playing the young kids who are seriously not good enough, probably cost us the game. So we're going to hold my hands up here. These young boys are probably just not good enough. So maybe my transfer window plan might have to go out the window. We'll sell them all, make money on them, and just bring in a few good players. Because looking at it, we are definitely not good enough. We should be beating these 7 or 8-0. And given the amount of possession we've had and the chances we're creating, go on, Moreno. Oh boy. Well, shots on target ratio is good. Or maybe it wants me to have a draw. Maybe the game wants me to have a draw and go for a replay, seeing as there's only a few games left. We are also at home, and I just really don't know what to do. If I go attacking, they'll beat me 3 or 4-0. I know this team can't attack, so it's really weird. I'm going to push up Landerson. He's going to push up and go and attack. We've got to get more bodies up there. And finally, Wirtz. Good heavens, Florian Wirtz has woken up. He's managed to put us ahead. Well, not ahead, he's just got us back in the game. I've had these, Aaron, I have had these problems. If you've watched along, I remember when I started Notts County, the first 2 seasons, as the first 2 seasons always are when you open up FM, were really easy. We won the league by a streak both times. And then suddenly, like, Notts County just fell apart. It just like, I just completely lost the dressing room for an unknown reason. They would not play. They were just a shambles. And at that point, I got headhunted by Bournemouth. And totally headhunted. I didn't even have an interview. It was just the job was offered to me. And we went through the same with Bournemouth. We recovered for a while, and then they too was complete shambles. And then, as that was getting worse and worse, we got headhunted by Juventus. And that was a complete shambles as well. I don't know what it is about these teams that I've been in charge of. The only success I've had is Coritiba, really. Coritiba were not the best team in the league by anyone's stretch. And the season that we won 4 trophies, including the Libertadores, we were supposed to finish 10th in the league. So they were not a great team, but we won all 4 trophies. No, we lost the Paranense Cup, so 4 out of 5 trophies that season. So they're really the only team I've had any success with. But given the players that they had, I would have expected them to do well, but not that well. And players like Kumalo, Jesus Abba, Marcos, who's now at Manchester United, was a part of that team. Thought about actually making a bid for him, but it's too expensive, really, for his attributes. So every other team, apart from Coritiba, I've had nightmares with. And I just wonder, is it just simply about quality of players? And the game's reflecting the player values and reputations. And that's simply what it's doing. And they are going to have, I'm far from pleased with what I saw. And a couple of them are going to have a talking to. Suwon, Shazavari. Who was the defender? It's the goalkeeper, is it? Really quite angry with how poorly you've played. The goalkeeper took the responsibility. How can the goalkeeper have taken responsibility for that? Doesn't make any sense. As far as I can see, he didn't do anything wrong. But he's on a 6.3. Was actually thinking of playing the young boy, the young goalkeeper, Elijah Smith. So maybe that was an error on my part. Should have put the young 18-year-old in goal. But this is not good. We need to do better than this. This is absolutely dreadful. Shazavari is awful. They've actually only created 1 chance. And it is, we can't score goals again. Their wing backs are high up the pitch, so there is space. So let's try focusing down the flanks, because their wing backs are quite high up the pitch. They have a 4 and a 2, which is quite narrow by the look of it. So they're closing up that space, but I'm having kittens every time they have the ball, and they've scored. No, they haven't. I want to. Maybe I should sign Millwall strikers in the transfer window. They've hit the bar and scored with their 2 opportunities. This team, if you actually put this team in the same league as Millwall, they'd all be 4.5 5-star players. So this is unbelievable. Hey Blues, how are you doing? Put them in the same league, they'd all go up at least to 4.5, and Florian Wirtz would be a 6-star player. Has he given a penalty there? It must be Wirtz who will take the penalties. Is it a penalty, ref? Is it a penalty? It's awarded. Goalkeeper still on a 6.3. Do I take him off? Is he still looking a bit... He's anxious now. He's missed it, has he? The game won't even let me. All right, let's have a look. Florian Wirtz. Penalties. Only 13. Why is he taking penalties? Oh, goodness me. I think you're right, Aaron. At the moment, the game does not like me. But we're not going to win the cup anyway, so why not go out against Millwall? We're not going to win anything. We're just simply not good enough. And we just have to see this season through and see where we end up. The worry is that because we won't have European football, the transfer budget... He's having a shocker of a season, to be honest, Wirtz. Absolute shocker. Sometimes happens, well, often happens. You bring a player in of that value and quality, and he doesn't play very well. Hopefully his second season will be better. He has not been the signing I'd hoped he was going to be. Oh, is it going to go to penalties? Does it go to penalties in the FA Cup quarter-final or to a replay? Good luck to Millwall. They'll probably go on and beat Manchester City in the final. What on earth? All right, I'm going to mark their 2 midfielders. I mean, it's difficult for me to actually figure out because they haven't actually put any key passes together. But we're going to type mark their 2 midfielders and see if that helps. There's only been 1 key pass. Apart from these 2, that was the assist. I mean, what on earth is going on? Shazavari's having a shocker. I think it's time to bring Kamalo on. Seone, he's not playing much better either. But he has an excuse. It's his first game of the season, I think. Oh, finally. And it's like one of these squad players who's put us in front. Doig has done it. Doig, as I'm told you're supposed to pronounce it. Doig. Now it's time to make these changes. We'll take the goalkeeper off. Is he still looking anxious? Stan is also nervous. Seon is apprehensive. We have to get these apprehensive players off. Well, let's give them a little bit of encouragement first. See if that changes things. Can we change the mood here? Oh, Goalkeeper's changed to composed. But he's still giving me kittens. He did make a very, very good save just now, which the ratings haven't recognised. And it's 3-1. And the other wing-back, Moreno. And this tactic is called the Wonder Wing-Backs. And we haven't really seen them doing it. I'm wondering if I should change the shape for next season. Newcastle, before I came, were playing with a back three. So they shouldn't be struggling that much. Let's make some changes now. Let's bring on Kamalo. See what he can do. Who's apprehensive? Moani can come up top. He didn't have the best of games. Goalkeeper's recovering. So let's focus on these tired players. Tonali can come on when my mouse starts behaving for Landerson. Let's strengthen up that midfield. Tonali is probably going to be in the first team for next season. Now he's beginning to play. Now I've decided to take him off. So it's good covering back from an advance forward. We've been much the better team. How we allowed them to dominate the game in the first half, I don't know. Well, they didn't dominate the game. They just were beating us. But we found our way back in. I think pushing the Volante into attack has helped. Just throwing more bodies forward. We did manage to get more players forward. And there's our aerial ability. Carapito. Is he tired, Carapito? He probably does need to come off. So let's... Larson can come on here and he can shift not to there. You have to do it this way. Larson can go there and Tonali can come back. And Doig is tired. Who's the left back? Nathan Patterson can come on as the left back. Left wing back. And let's see this game out, boys. The board will be happier that we've got to the semi-final of the Cup. Arsenal and Manchester City are still in the Cup. So it doesn't bode well. Go on, son. Go on, Kamala. That's what you can do. Oh! I think with a bit of match sharpness, he'd have done better than that. Nice to see him having a game, though, Kamalo. Let's have a look at Kamalo's instructions. Yeah, that's fine for him. That's fine. I must remember to put him on that training as well. Got an itch on me back here. Must remember to put him on that training, teaching him how to do overhead kicks. I still really want to see one of those flying in, and Kamalo's got exactly the right attributes to train for that. So we'll do that as soon as this game is over. We'll get him training up on that. Well, that was a great pass. Tonali right into the middle of the penalty area. Come on, break at pace. Why is he stopping? That's not part of his instructions to hold the ball up. Go for a run, son. The back five that I've got, I don't really want to move any of them on. I might want to bring in someone, but in terms of a back five, I don't want any of them to leave. Bringing in a young player, but even we have Guevara, who is an extremely good young player. So I don't really see that we need to do anything with the central defenders, which is why we've got 6 central defenders, and playing as a back 4, we'd have way too many central defenders. And all of them are good players, and all of them are at an age where they're not really getting to the point where they should be sold. One more season for them, a couple of them, Guehi and Botman. But Guehi and Botman are in their prime. And good players. The same as Tonali. Tonali is not at an age where he needs to be sold. He's 30 years old and he's in his prime now. Oh, nice work by Kamalo, but Wirtz again couldn't finish. Lucky he got that goal early on, because his rating otherwise would be terrible. Jesus, Abba hasn't had a great game. He hasn't got his... Although he's got a good rating, he's missed a lot of headers off target. (3-1). I'm not... I'd actually tell the team I'm not happy if it was real, but I can't afford to break their spirits at the moment, because they weren't good enough against a League One team. So we'll just tell them it was a good win. You're all young boys, so it was a good win. Even though it wasn't really. Oof, what a drive by Moreno. That's why he's in my thinking. Good young player. Changed their formation, have they? Well, let's go to my assistant then and get him... Oh, we can't do that, can we? Get him to change his thinking, but he doesn't want to do it. 3-1. Would you be happy, boys, with that, or would you be somewhat like me, a little bit upset that they've not been good enough? What would you feel? Or are you just happy to take the result in the cup and tell them, well done? Or would you be like me, a bit disappointed that they have not played well enough? I'm just going to say, yeah, you're right, take the result and move on. I'm just going to say, well, it was a good win. It was a good win. I mean, just keep morale going. We needed to win after the last two. Yep, we did win. We did win it, Andy. And sometimes I am too hard on the team. I know. That's why I would never be a very good manager in real life. I'm not very sympathetic at all. And they're going to need to rest as well, because the next game is coming up very quickly. Aston Villa on Tuesday. So these boys are going to get a rest for a day. Nobody else needs a rest. He's another useful young player, Guevara. I like his mentals. His physicals are not bad, but his natural fitness is poor, which means if he gets injured, he's not going to recover well. Passing and vision needs work, and his ball control needs a little bit of work. But on the whole, for 19 years old, he's got a very exciting future, I think. Already valued 36 to 51 mil. So I don't think we need to be focused on centre-backs. I think if I look at what the first team might look like, so let's remove him. And the only one I'm hoping that will be left there will be, where is he? Kanate. So at the moment it would be Kanate, Kumalo, Florian Wirtz. That would be the front three. And then Abba, Guehi, and Botman. And Frimpong, where is he? Where's Tonali and Neves? And at the left wing back, that's an issue at the moment. Doig is the left wing back. So I think that is a good first team. We need to get another forward in, and we are looking, and we need a left back. And in terms of who we're looking at, we do have a couple of forwards. My choice for bringing in a left back is Aaron Hickey. And it might seem a little bit odd to you that I would choose Aaron Hickey, but in terms of every attribute, although he's not super brilliant in each attribute, overall attributes, he's averaging around about 13. Hi, Callum. So he is one that I would seriously be looking at, Aaron Hickey. I think he would be, as the scout said, a very good signing. But the other big guy, of course, is for left back, is this guy who is 83 to 123 million. Probably shades Aaron Hickey, but it's whether or not we're going to raise the money needed to buy him. But he would be a very, very good player to come in. And then I'm looking at this guy, Garvey, 26 years old, Barcelona player, exceptional player. And I'm looking at him either to play in midfield or up front as the attacking mid. Good player. Another one whose mentals are really good. And the final look then would be Ethan Nawari, who I think is a good player. And I agree with the scouts, sign him as a priority. I think need to work on his weaker foot, but I think he's a very, very good player. And he can play along that vertical line. And will make a very good player wherever he plays along that vertical line. So that would be the plan for the transfer window. Nothing too busy, but I think just improving in certain areas. What do you think, guys? He looks good, yeah. I think he is... Well, he's 19 years old, and his attributes for 19 look very good. He does have work to do. His ball control is poor. His dribbling and his technique are poor. But he has 5 years or so to work on that. I'm sure we can improve that. We've got to beat Aston Villa now. I don't know how, but we've got to go out. Yeah, I did notice that as well, Stephen. He does have a number of traits which I don't really like. Where is he? Scouting. Which I don't really like. Runs with the ball through the centre. Well, he plays in the centre of the field. Comes deep to get the ball, so he'd be a false 9, not an advanced forward. Looks for a pass rather than attempting to score, which is fine because his finishing is not his best attribute. So it means his decision making will be improved. Tries tricks with flair of 15 and runs with the ball often. Good agility, good balance and good dribbling. He has got a ton of traits, so we'd have to set him up in a way that he is allowed to run with the ball, but yet a false 9 is probably his best position. I don't know, so we'd have to wait and see what happens with him, but that would at least is the plan for the coming season. But it is dependent on selling players, and players that I'm willing to let go. I'd be prepared to let Frimpong go. Florian Wirtz, Canote, Elijah Smith, Moreno, Patterson, Guevara. So Dom Baker could go. Larson could go if I get a decent bid for him. Guimaraes, definitely I want him out the door. He's 33 years old now. We can get money for him, still a year left on his contract, so I want him to go. So that's 2 players. And then Hartmann is on his way out through the door. Turati, I think, is on his way out through the door. Isak, Miley, Muani. So there are players who go. This guy who's never featured, he's interesting in that he has a value of 42 to 60 million. He's never been even on the bench, just not figured. Finishing is poor, but he's a winger, so I have no use for wingers. So we could raise a ton of money if we can sell players. And that's always the key in FM. Are we going to be able to sell them? No, the problems. Yeah. And for me, decisions is the most important attribute of all the players. They haven't got good decisions. There's... Turati did tell me that he wanted to stay. So he is a good backup, so, but I think he's going to want a fair bit of money. We'll look. I'm not going to listen to any of that nonsense or that nonsense. Yeah, he's asking for a big wage. Let's see if I can bring him down to 94. Probably not. He wants 110. Finally agreed. He's a good backup, but it's cost a lot of money. It hasn't actually damaged me in terms of the... I do have 20 mil that I can still spend before the season ends, before they do the budgets again. So yeah, I agree with you, Stephen. I think that decisions is probably one of the most important attributes in the game. when you're buying players, you should be making sure they have good decisions. Ooh, West Ham caused a shock. They beat Manchester City, did they? Insects. So Arsenal beat Fulham. So we got Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Arsenal and Newcastle. Turati. Should we give him a game? Guehi, Bayomo, Abba, Carapito. I think against Aston Villa we've got to play a fairly strong team. We'll go with that until I have a look at it. Fujito, I think he should be sold. I don't know how much he's worth. He's worth 15 million. He's just simply not good enough. He might not have the required ability. He's nowhere near got the required ability. So he's worth 15 mil. And let's have a look at this team now. I want to play Kamalo instead of Shazavari. And Florian Wirtz. He did score in the last game, but probably does need a rest. Botman, out there you were having a laugh. Doig probably does need a rest though, so Patterson can come on, play as the left wing back. And that means Botman can switch over there. Gumares, no, he's not part of my plans anymore. Tonali came on in the second half, didn't he? So he can play there. And Frimpong, Patterson, Carapito can continue against Villa. And now Moreno, Hall, Landerson. Actually, Landerson probably needs a game. Again. Bayomo, Landerson, Larson, Guimaraes. Bruno can be on the bench. Shazavari and Wirtz on the bench. Or maybe Konate on the bench. Let's see how... Oh, has he got Isak up front? Do I really want to play Isak? Do I really... What happened there? We are playing Nottingham Forest in the semi-final, are we? Does that mean we're going to play Arsenal in the final? Yeah, I agree with you, Callum. Isak is definitely not part of my plans. Konate is. And I probably want to give this young lad more exposure. So, according to the scout, the coaches, he is a 3-star player. I'm not quite sure how they work that out, but in terms of the attributes needed to play as an advanced forward, he's got them. He's not very brave, but it doesn't really need to be brave. Just needs to run fast and get on the end of the ball. His off the ball is good. His composure, finishing are really good. His technique is good. He looks like he's got what it takes to play as an advanced forward. He just hasn't played enough. So he is a big part of my plan, so let's put him on the bench. Tactically against Villa, how are they going to play? Wing play. So I really should be dropping the line. So I want to drop the line back a little bit. Just to begin with. We'll keep him on support for a while. and we'll make sure we're stepping up. I just want to try and stop Villa getting the ball, the diagonals behind us. And so let's drop the line to begin with. And it might be, are we home or away? We're home, so let's stay positive. Shall I just cheer him up? He should be quite cheerful. He's just had a terrific new contract, 100 grand a week for sitting on the bench. Dingwall, I was looking at him as well. Dingwall as a squad playing striker. Not bad. He's not bad. Work rate is poor. And he's not very strong. But apart from that, he's got a blistering pace. Good finishing and composure. His off the ball is brilliant. I was looking at Dingwall as well. I think he should be. He should be on the transfer list, and he's the kind of signing that the board want. Depends on the money. Go to attacking. Is this guy mad? Is he mad? Do you know what kind of form we're in? Oh boy. I think Frimpong should be on the bench. Where is Frimpong? Frimpong is not available, is he, for some reason? Where's Frimpong? Oh, he's playing. I'm looking at Moreno on the bench himself. Aston Villa, let's have a look at them. Smith Rowe must be getting on in years now. I think they're an aging team as well, aren't they? So let's go and play this game and see if we can't beat Villa here. We need 3 points desperately. And it's a fairly strong team. It's just whether or not we can score goals. And I'm looking at Kamalo to have a good game. Kanate, I need him to have a good game. Defense looks solid. I'm just going to play him as a wing back and not a complete wing back. It's just his starting position. And the Volante I'm going to keep on support for now. Ramsey. Which one of these two is going to be the menace? Let's go and play Aston Villa. There's really nothing riding on this game, so I can relax a little bit, even though I'm going to get probably very disappointed again. There's no way with Brentford having 2 games in hand and being 2 points ahead of us that we're going to make it into the European spot. And this dribbling, I don't know whether it's just an FM graphics thing, but whenever we dribble, even though we are a great dribbling team, whenever we dribble with the ball, we always lose it. And I don't know if that's just a graphics thing. I have to watch that. We may have to come into a mid or a low block, because if they're going to take long range shots, I need to get bodies behind the ball. There's no evidence of their wing play yet. Here it comes. And that stops them getting behind us. Okay, so that part of it is working, but I might have to come into a low block because there's too much space again. Yeah, so we're going to come into a low block. If we're playing the line that deep, I've got to get bodies behind the ball to stop those long shots that they're having. But playing in the low block might stretch them. I don't know what is wrong with this team. Can't keep the ball. Can't create opportunities. And I think it's just that the ratings, the coaches' ratings are all over the place. They're not as good as the coaches make them out to be. Which is why the board are not particularly upset about not qualifying for Europe, because the board know they're not good enough. But the coaches seem to think they're extremely good. That is an issue. And that is an issue. What a dreadful pass. It's looking like one of those days, isn't it? It's just going to tell me, say goodbye to anybody's belief that you're getting into a Europe spot. And this is a Villa team who are 14th in the league. They're absolutely hammering us. There it is. So that's it. Hi, Silver Ali. How you doing? So I'm going to have to be brave. They're just like, the low block is not going to work. They're just going to take us apart like everybody else does. Like Millwall did. There's something that's got to be looked at, because this team is not as good as they think it is. This isn't actually an awful team. It's pretty awful. Or at least FM is trying to make it out that way. We went through a phase, 2 phases of 6 games where we were absolutely fabulous. Win after win after win after win. But both of those were followed by 2 defeats. And they just don't look like they're playing. Or maybe it's Bournemouth all over again, Juventus all over again. They've just stopped playing for the manager. And once that happens, there's nothing I can do. Once they stop playing for you, nothing you can do. So maybe for some reason, after winning 6 games in a row, they decided, nah, we don't like him. Winning 6 games in a row, nah, we don't want to do that. We don't like this manager. We've come back into the game. We've had a poor start, but we have pinched a little bit of the momentum. I'm struggling to see. It's Kiwo. I did say which one of those 2 midfielders was going to be the danger. But I can only go with the players that I've got. If they're not playing well enough, they're not playing well enough. Come on, make a chance. Oh, for goodness sake, who was that? Kamalo. Even he's not playing very well. And there's one player who I believe in is Kamalo. I don't even believe in Florian Wirtz anymore, but Kamalo, I still have some belief in him. And he's not playing very well either. Where are you off to? Are we still in this low block? I'm coming out of it. And we're going to go and push up. Try to get in their face instead. We're not making any inroads again. And we'll push Tonali up the field as well. See what happens. Passing is a big clue in FM. If they can't pass to each other, you know that there's so much wrong, and they just can't pass to each other. This looks awful. It looks really awful. Maybe I'm going to have to slow it down. The passing is outrageous. Right, let's try and slow the tempo down then. Let's see if you can do it with a bit slower. So Leicester all over again, a team in 14th in the league, just taking us apart. And the line is too high now. But there's nothing I can do. I have to push up because they were just like taking pot shots from anywhere. And the low block didn't work. All right, you've been terrible. Absolutely shocking is the word. And I'm tired of telling them that. I've been telling that, I've told them, like in all the team talks, that they're dreadful so many times now. I just really don't know what's going on here. Unless it is the coaches have completely got their ratings wrong. Although they do look like they've got the attributes to be good players. Maybe they're not. Maybe their hidden attributes are such that they are that bad. Oh, come on, please, please, FM. Allow us to do something. Oh, like I said, it doesn't matter anyway. We've nothing to play for. At least we'll get a win, hopefully, again in the Cup semi-final, because we've been given a weaker team again. But we're no good. We're absolutely no good. Let's berate them. Kamalo's not playing very well again. And he's like, I might end up having to sell him if he's not going to be a Premier League player. Then we might have to move him on. Look at that first touch. Frimpong, who they've got down as a 4-star player. Wirtz's first touch is terrible. Their shooting is dreadful. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to find something good about them. Their passing is awful. Their shooting is awful. Aerially, we're terrible. We're not going to be able to do any shouts in FM25. That's Shouts for me are just like to make me feel better. I don't know if they have an effect on the players, but it certainly makes me feel better. This is awful. Come on, please, FM. You don't need to do this. We're not going to qualify for Europe, so you don't need to rub my nose in the dirt by making us look like we are this bad. Teams who are in the bottom half of the table are rubbing their hands thinking we got Newcastle next. Easy victory. Someone do something. Come on. Is it going to be late as we did in Millwall? Looks better slower. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the back now. So let's try and pull them out a little bit. Yeah, it might be that we just got to try and get the ball forward. But I'm going to try the mid-block first, because I noticed they've got 6 across the back. And they're very, very deep. Oh, and we've hit the post, have we? Alright, let's give Bruno what possibly could be one of his last games. Kamalo is a nightmare. As is Kanote. I'm starting to think, should Kanote be staying? Someone do something, please. Cheer me up. And if we're a team that can only just beat Millwall, then probably it's not surprising that we can't win in the Premier League. Yet how did we put those runs where we were winning game after game after game? How did we put those together then? If we're that bad. And the team's been rotated. We've tried different ways of playing. Just see it through to the end of the season. Whatever happens is whatever happens. We've got a transfer window coming. But yeah, if we can't beat Millwall convincingly from League One, then this is not a very good football team. Muani is tired now as well. We don't look like we can score against anybody. Well, Moati has to stay on, unless I can bring on... No, I don't even have attacking mids. I can't explain it. They don't look like they can do anything. They don't look like they can do anything. And this was a team that looked unbeatable not so long ago. Beating everybody. I honestly can't understand this game at all. mean, I can understand if people were saying, well, you've played the same first 11 all season. They've been rotating all the time. That's not the reason. Look at the first touch. They've lost the ability, and even though Shazafari scored there, I'm still not happy. That was just a mistake by Villa. They've just got no ability. It's just like, where's the ability gone? The last sub will have to be Frimpong. Look at that first touch from Frimpong. It was dreadful. So the mid-block helped. So far. We'll come back to balance, because at this point in time I'd be quite happy with a point. And that might draw them out even more. And then what we might do is take Andy's idea of going more direct. If their passing is so bad. I want to have a look at the pass completion. See, it's 92. We're passing better than the opposition. And since we've slowed down, we're probably the better side. I'm going to come back to balance. That might draw them out a little bit. I've got no subs left. And I'm going to demand more from them. One of these shouts, talking about shouts, one of the shouts that has worked in the past for me is the focus shout. And I used that in the Norwich, the Ferguson save for Wilden, who had concentration of 7. And when he was playing really bad, I used to select him and use the shout focus on him. And very often, after I would do that, he scored. So one of the shouts that did seem to work. That could be a way to do it. I mean, they've been better since I slowed the game right down. But not a lot better. Their passing improved, so maybe they just can't play at a high tempo. Maybe it's got to be this very controlled passing game rather than the gegenpress. So let's come off the press as well. Because they're exhausted. Some of them look like they can barely walk. Come on, sneak it at the end. Go on, FM. Just give me something, FM. That was a terrible pass again. This is it's like one of the indicators that the game has switched you off is the passing. What is going on? Aston Villa, we should have beaten them. But at the moment we couldn't. Absolutely. But Villa's league position is showing that they're not good. Whereas we've had those 2 runs where we looked unbeatable. Oh, please, not a late goal. It's what FM is famous for. cost us big time against Liverpool was the 95th minute goal. Dreadful. Dreadful. But we've had a win and a draw, but we're now 5 points away from the European places, and they still have 2 games in hand on us, so it's all over. Shazzavari on form. Nobody was on form. He's not consistent enough, though, to take Florian Wirtz's place at the moment. Okay, do we have a break coming up? No, yes, we do. There's an international break coming up. They are a very good pressing team. When we went on those runs, normal. Hi, by the way. When we went on those unbeaten runs, we were playing in a very high gegenpress style at a very fast, high tempo, and they looked unbeatable. And it's like suddenly they couldn't play like that anymore. And it's really bizarre. And I'm absolutely convinced it's about the save, as we're now going into episode 86 or 87. The save now has become just about players. And when we're about 4 really good players short of a title contention. And we need to bring those 4 really good players in. We're about 6 players short of winning the Champions League. So we just got to be patient. I'm pretty convinced that's all it's about now. The game's judging you on your players. Oh, let's have another wing-back injured. How many times have my left wing-backs been injured? Unbelievable. Do I have to start that complaint again, FM, where you just target wing-backs all the time? I think I'll sign 18 wing-backs for next season. And then you can injure as many as you like. Just like... I've got 6 wing-backs, and I've only really had a maximum of 3 ever available. That was last year's rant, that was, about injuring wing-backs, but it seems it's doing the same again. Who's next to be injured? A right wing-back, I expect. Oh, dear. Could be a good player. Need to get some young boys in. He's probably going to cost too much. 91. Nice looking player, though. Not quite sure why we're scouting players like this. He is a right wing back. 32 years old. What's the point? Oh, we have... Oh, he's a right winger. Looks a very decent sort. Have to train him as a centre mid. To set up his training as a centre mid. He looks a very decent sort, he does. The best of a bad bunch. Shazzavari scores 2 goals. Maybe they're too tired. I just... Like, they've been playing one football match a week. And they're too tired. Good Lord, I was playing football matches when I was younger every single day. Never was too tired. He's a boy I've definitely got my eye on. And he is another one. And the scout has said he would be a terrific signing. Although his attributes are not that great, in every area, his attributes are really good. Like decisions, as 15. And you know what I'm like on decisions. His work rate is pretty good. He's got pace. And his positioning is good for a wing back. Anticipation is good. It's just a good all-round set of attributes. There's nothing that's really bad about him. So he is definitely someone who would be on the radar. Yeah, we've seen him. It's your job to do the contracts. It's definitely on my radar, that Aaron Hickey. And also, if you don't play them, some of them every single game, then you've got unhappy players to deal with. So it is a bit of a conundrum. It is, Canate is the next injury, is it? Okay, it's trying to tell me to play Isaac, isn't it? That's what it's trying to do. $56 to $70 million is high, but that's what I mean. In order to improve what I already have, and he would be an improvement on Doig, then I'm going to have to pay that kind of money. This is a point. I'm no longer at Coritiba where they cost me 2.5 mil. They're going to cost me, anyone's going to cost me a lot of money to improve on what I have. That's why it's kind of like a slow process. I'm not going to be able to bring them all in at once anymore. Like you can do when you first get promoted to the Prem and you bring in 11 players. You're not going to be able to do that. That's not something I'm going to be able to do now at this level. Unless the game is nice to me and says you can sell all your players that you want to sell. But what is the chances of that happening? What are the chances of the game telling me, yep, go ahead, sell anybody you like? I'm willing to bet that at least one of Isaac and Muani will still be at the club at the end of the window. At least one of them, if not both. I may have to wait for them to run their contracts down. Maybe that's what the game wants me to do. Is just the only way I can get rid of them is when they are out of contract. The intermediaries don't actually work at all, Andy. We've seen some of that going on in the winter transfer window. Every time I ask to sell through an intermediary, they just come back and say, no, sorry, nobody's interested. That's every single time. Bubista Uza? Who's Martins? God blimey. Should I congratulate him on his first? How did he play? Because that's the second thing you have to answer. Played against Egypt then, did he? Martins. He got a 6.2. So I better not tell him that he played really well. Let's see what happens. I just say congratulations. I can't say you did very well. You've been patient waiting for your chance. That's because he played absolutely shockingly bad, which is in... Who's he? He's a winger. I've noticed there are lots of good wingers my scouts are finding. Unfortunately, I don't play with wingers. I should take time to go through this, shouldn't I? But we don't have anybody in here now at the moment. We had 3. Yeah, delay. You can deal with all that. I've told you to deal with all that as well. I don't want to talk to anybody at the moment. The goalkeeper I've been looking at, 42 million, probably a very good goalkeeper. It would mean having to sell my number 1. But that might be a thought, because sometimes he plays like an idiot. But it might be a thought. How much money is he worth? How much money is this boy? I can't even say his name, so that's a good reason to get rid of him. Mamadashvili. Up to 91 million. And he's not the greatest goalkeeper. He's classed as a world-class goalkeeper, but he's not. His recent form has been shocking. Hartman back in training. Oh, Wirtz is injured. B-, a B from the fans. Should I just play the young boys again against Brighton? The older players are not cutting it. Just play the older players in the cup. The first team are not... Jesus, Abba, is that his first cap? I thought he played a lot of international football when he was at Coritiba. Maybe it was for the under-21s. How did he get on? Jesus Abba. Jesus Abba, where is he? Was that 6.8? So he gave a good account of himself. So we can say he did well. He hasn't dedicated his international cap to me. After all the years I've been with him, coaching him, left me out of that completely, didn't he? Brought him to the Premier League from the depths of despair in Brazil. Actually, I can use my knowledge of the Brazilian league to actually bring in players. I've already brought in good players. João Neves is back, is he? But they're tired, so I'm not going to take his word for it this time. Look at them, they're tired. Tonali, Florian Wirtz is tired. He's injured, isn't he? This does Asprilla excited by in-form Newcastle. What? And then at the bottom it says Newcastle have disappointed so far. Struggling for results early in the season. That was not me. And the club will be all too aware that a failure to rectify new managers. I'm on course. We failed that, but they said they are disappointed, but they understand the team had a difficult draw. Everything else, we're on course. Record a Premier League top half finish. We are going to do that. So that's what they want. We're going to do it. I can't do any more with this team. Right, now we have to have a look who's not fit in that lineup. And there may be many who are not fit. So this team may change a lot. And he has been an absolute shocker. Hey City, evening further, how you doing? Let's go to the medical centre. Shazavari, Tonali, Wirtz and Patterson should not play. Wirtz should not play, so Kamalo. Oh, he's tired as well. So we have to take... Well, Wirtz is tired. I don't have any more. They're all tired. Don Baker is not tired. Kamalo is tired. Again. Kanate is not too tired. These two are tired. Tonali and Neves. Landerson is tired. Gomares them. And somebody who isn't tired. There isn't anybody else who isn't tired. Even Larsson's tired. Tonali, you won't make it through the first half. I see. The interesting thing is, I see other teams coming on with their heart in that shape, and they make it through in 90 minutes. By half time, I'll be being told he's on his last legs and can't manage to go on. I'm gonna have to play Landerson, and then have midfielders on the bench. Muani, they're okay, they're fit. Landerson isn't that fit. Carapito, though, is fit. And Landerson... where have you gone? There you are. He can come on here for now. Tonali can replace him. The other player who will need replacing, they're actually not that bad. Now we need to put a bench together. Botman. Neves probably could play, actually. Neves comes back, but he's not very fit. But he can play. So Moreno. Left backs I don't have anymore, do I? Patterson, is he fit? No. Patterson's not fit, but he's going to have to get in there. Landerson, Tonali, Suone is fit. Larsson is fit-ish. Gomares. I'm short of an attacking mid, aren't I? Shazavari for Tonali. The best I can do. Brighton in 10th. They've been rubbing their hands all week thinking, easy game against Newcastle coming up. And tactically, I've got no idea what to do now. We've been very, very poor. Yeah, I'm going to put him on attack to go at them from the beginning. I'm going to push the line up. We're going to play with the gegenpress again. I'm going to just give it one last chance. If we can't play, I'm going to say dribble less because I don't like their dribbling. And we'll just make a balanced start. Still searching for a first Prem League title, 2040. I mean, I can't, to be honest, I can't complain. Peterson, no, he's not a wing back, but he's a good fullback, though. Very good fullback. Why can't he play as a wing back? Probably make a very good wing back. He's definitely an inverted wing back, though. He'd probably make a very good wing back. His dribbling and isn't that great, but his agility and balance, pace, I think he could be trained easy as a wing back. Abba showing pleasing progress. He's going to be a 5-star player, that boy. What a good buy he was. Wirtz and Hartmann not recommended. Why has he got Hartmann in the team there? Patterson can come on then instead. There's not much I can do if you're injuring all my fullbacks. Balance to positive. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Tackle harder. Take your word for it. We haven't had a red card all season, so I'm not sure that's a good idea to get stuck in. I've got a lot of individual players on tackle harder, so I don't think it's a good idea, really. So I got a team are not happy with the team sheet. Well, there's nothing I can do if everybody's come back too tired to play. I expect is what I'm going to say. I'm expecting. I don't look too happy about that when I said I'm expecting things. So maybe I'm too gentle on them before the game starts. Maybe they need a kicking. I expect you to win. Stop being so gentle. That's better. This is a weakened team again. Come on, Neves. You're like a 5-star player as well. Do something. We haven't seen you either all season. You haven't done anything. As well as Wirtz. Come on, boys. Come on. Let's do something here. Send me away happy tonight, FM. Looks like they are sitting back as well. So does every team in the Premier League sit back? Oh, we've missed another one, have we? Another open goal. Yeah, they're getting like 6 bodies behind the ball by the look of it. So now they're going to try and get behind us, aren't they? Because they have Lamptey and Estupian. So let's take a look at them. Lamptey must be so old now. No, he's still only 30, 18. So I want him on his left foot and hard tackle him. And Estupiñán doesn't have pace. We'll close him down, hard tackle him. Right foot. And make sure that my wing backs, Frimpong can press, but Patterson not press. Yep, looks like another defeat to me. Brighton are also hammering us as well. Wonder if the game's ever going to let me win. Apart from League One teams. Just looking at the... Nobody's playing that bad after 10 minutes. And in fact, Dom Baker is playing really well. But I haven't seen him do anything. One key pass. Oh, he gave the pass where we missed the open goal. That's what he's got. Well, he did have a 7, but he's gone back a bit now. Brighton are all over us. Okay, so we're going to slow the game down because we obviously can't play at that tempo. I'm going to go narrow. The thing is we can't play at that tempo. Where we were outstanding at that tempo not so long ago. Tom Baker. God, that Tom Baker's taking me back a little bit there. Bit of luck, more like a miracle, Callum. I just don't know why they've suddenly become as bad as they are. And these, like, the central defenders have been rotated. Except for Jesus Abba, but he's the only one I trust, really, at the moment. So we can't complain we're not rotating the team. They're just a bunch of sugar puffs. They've got no stamina at all. We have to check their stamina. Slowed it down again, and we've started to come back into the game, although not much. Frimpong needs to stop dribbling. Every time he gets the ball, he gives it away. Let's tell him to stop dribbling. I've told the team to dribble less as well, but they're still dribbling. Closing down Tariq Lamptey is very dangerous, but he is getting lots of crosses in there. So in fact, rather than close him down, it would tight mark him instead. Come on, Konate. If he's getting in lots of crosses, we're not going to be able to close him down. The best idea is to stop the ball coming to him. and maybe focus our play down the other side. It's pretty dire. Pretty dire. Where is he? He's out there, but he's not being tight marked. It's because they have two wide players out there. So the way to play them is through the middle. They're playing so wide, we need to go down the middle. What was that for? Offside? I remember this happened with Coritiba last season, at the end of last season. We drew pretty much every game before the end of the season. So like patterns in this game are unbelievable. And this looks like we're going to draw again. But the difference with Coritiba, we'd pretty much won the league by the time all those draws started. I think we had won the league 5 games before it ended. Well, that was a dreadful corner. My set-piece coach needs to be fired as well. He's done nothing in terms of set pieces all season. And the one he tried was absolutely dreadful. Brentford are winning, so they are now 10 points clear. Do I have to tell them again? You've been absolutely dreadful. Or do I try and cheer them up a little bit? Because I don't know what to do. 2 shots, none on target. That's all we've managed. Well, how much of wrong one? They've had 1 on target. So that means they're going to win this game then, doesn't it? We haven't had anywhere near enough chances to win this game in FM. I'm going to take that off. Just take a shot, guys, for goodness sake. No creativity. 1 key pass. Yeah, we haven't taken nearly enough shots. Frimpong again. I'd like to sell him. He may well be a good player in FM, but he's not a good player for me. And this very often happens. Florian Wirtz, I might sell him as well because he's not a very good player for me. He'll go and play for someone else and be absolutely brilliant. Frimpong's supposed to be a great player. He's absolutely rubbish. He keeps losing the ball. Come on, take some shots, guys. Passing again, dreadful. They couldn't pass the cheesecake. He's the only player I actually trust at the moment. Jesus Abba, he has to be in the team every week. It's the only one I trust. Feeling down? Not as down as I am, Arda. I don't know what's happened to my team. I have no idea what's happened to my team. 0 shots on target again. And we're now 10 points behind Brentford. The only way into Europe is through the FA Cup, but there's no way. If we play like this, there's no way we are going to be beating teams, even like Forest. Like, I think we're probably going to lose to Forest. Look at that. That's dreadful. Dreadful defending. Frimbong again. Right, let's get some of these idiots off. João Neves, he's tired. He has to come off. Canate. Forwards are okay. Patterson is tired. Hartman will have to play, even though he's not fit. He's just injured. Karapati looks fired up. Appeared interested in the team message. Well, I'm taking you off, sunshine. Fenerbahce eliminated from the Champions League today. Not in real life, though, because there's no Champions League going on at the moment. But in your FM save, I'm presuming. I don't have another. He can come on for Kanate, who's having a terrible game. Guehi, terrible game. But Karapati is tired. So let's bring Larson on. Oh, not like... If you do it that way, it does that. Do it that way. Somebody do something. Go on, Landerson. Tee up somebody. Oh, that is dreadful. I think we need to be looking for a new set-piece coach. He is horrid. Although we are not good in the air, so it's probably not his fault. But he could try a few more tricks. I have no idea what... Oh, hi, Stefan. How are you doing? What else can I do? Nothing. Oh, there's no way I want to... We just haven't taken any shots. I'm like, come on, boys. I'm going to go and get stuck in now. The sending off I was worried about hasn't come. They are just terrible. They are just like, what have you done, FM, to my team? We couldn't lose a few weeks ago. What have you done? Oh, you're kidding me. Mwani, one of the smallest people on the pitch. Oh, boy. How did he do that? He's one of the smallest players on the pitch. Right, shout a bit of encouragement. Finally taking a shot. That it paid off, boys. If you take a shot, sometimes it pays off. Passing is terrible, though. You'd think with all that passing quality I have in midfield, all the like 16s and 17 attributes, we should be able to pass a football. Every one of them has got, like, pick one here. Landerson. Passing, 15. Vision, 15. Young kid, he should be able to pass a football, and they're all the same. Oh, is this the equaliser? Nope, good block. I'm talking of blocks. I might come into a low block now. They're going to start doing that caper. It is difficult. I know the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. Dom Baker. Not Tom. Dom Baker. These young boys are going to be good, but it's too early for them. And this is the key to this. Finding those 4 good players and then developing these young players. And there are 4 or 5 very, very good young players. Maybe even 6. But they're just not ready yet. And they go and do things sometimes, but they're not consistent enough yet. And yeah, I think that ties in with what you're saying about the Premier League, Stefan. I also think that the game doesn't want you to be playing 30-year-old current stars. It wants you to be finding young kids and developing young kids. And when you do that, as we did at Coritiba, everyone in that Coritiba team came through the ranks pretty much. And that's why Coritiba were successful. And that's what they want me to do here. Is to develop these young boys. It's going to take 2 or 3 years, but we have time. Providing we can meet the board's expectations, we have time. Yeah, absolutely, Stefan. And everything is about young players and developing young players. Tom Baker and Dalek. I love that, Andy. How did you think that one up? Oh, Andy. How do you think these up, eh? Tom Baker and Dalek. Well, it's got to be done now. It has to be done. I have to go and find him. Where is he? It's probably a bit old in 2031. There might be a player called Dalek, though. Oh, come on, boys. Passing is dreadful. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what it is. It's just about find as many wonder kids as you can. And the real world doesn't work like that. I've been looking at the current transfer window and they're bringing in 28-year-olds, 29-year-olds because that's the only thing they can afford. And the boards are not throwing their toys out the pram because of that. It was a good win, but it's meaningless. Because there's no way we are catching Brentford. But 10th spot. Aston Villa are in 11th and they have 38 points. And we have 50. we're probably going to finish around about 8th or 9th, looking at that. But if we can bring players in next season, we might challenge for the Champions League. It's about bringing players in. We have a rehearsal of the cup there, do we? I thought they were going to stop this nonsense where you play the team in the cup that you're playing next. 2 assists, did he? Well done. Their morale is Hartman grateful for Oldman faith. You're only repaying me because I didn't have anyone else to put in there. He's linked with Lewis Hall. I'll sell Hall. Yep, you can have him. How much is Hall worth? Oh, he's only 1.2. Yeah, you can have him. Well, we haven't done badly. I guess you've got to take that in each episode. 1 win, 2 wins and a draw. We haven't done that badly. We haven't played well. We played really badly. But if you play really badly and win 2 and draw 1, I guess you've got to take that. We have Nottingham Forest, Ipswich and Nottingham Forest to come next time. And this crazy season goes on and on. And the rest, that's absolutely right, Andy. All the rest were injured. I didn't have a choice. It was not about keeping faith with him. It's you're the only one I've got. Get your shirt on. I don't care if you're just coming back from injury. In terms of goals conceded, we are 7th best. When I came here, we were 14th best. So we've improved defensively. And I have had criticism in the comments about my defence being too leaky. I don't think it's the defence is the problem. Defensively, I've always ended up pretty much near the top in terms of goals conceded. I think the problem is goal scoring and maybe creativity. But I thought I'd solved that problem when I brought in Wirtz and Kamalo to provide a little bit of creativity. But they're just not doing it. And maybe we'll put that nastiness behind us and go on and win a few games. Nottingham Forest, Ipswich, Nottingham Forest, you'd got to think we've got to win these games, but we'll see. So that's it for tonight, boys. What day is it today? It's Tuesday or Thursday? Tuesday. So I'll be back on Thursday. The Premier League begins. Nice to see you've joined. Nice to see you've joined the fantasy football, Andy. Looking forward to some great performances from you. And I'll be back on Thursday, where we go again. And maybe we'll make it to the cup final. Who knows? And the other semi-final is between West Ham and Arsenal. Maybe we could get West Ham in the final. Who knows? And get to Europe that way. Oh, your son has also joined as well. If you are into FPL, then I will drop the code again in the community chat. I will drop the code for the Old Man Phil League. I think we've got about 22, 23 in there now. It's growing. So let's try and make it over 30. It would be great. Predictions for Newcastle, I think probably 2-0 Newcastle. That's my prediction. I've got an interesting fantasy team built around Newcastle, Spurs and Manchester City. So I'm hoping for big things this year, but probably not going to happen. But I always start well and then decline around Christmas. We'll see what happens this year. Okay, guys, thanks for coming, and I'll see you all on Thursday. All that remains to say, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it. See you soon.